Hi everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to another video in my open-ended series on video games. Once again, these are not intended as comprehensive reviews, but rather just a chance to highlight one specific aspect of a game that I really like and that I think merits a look. Today we're going to talk about Bomberman 64. Specifically, we're going to look at the game's second world, Blue Resort. Let's jump right in. Like all the game's worlds, Blue Resort is divided into 4 stages, with the second being a mini-boss and the fourth being a main boss. For starters though, let's just look at stage 1. This stage has a pretty neat structure on its own. The goal is actually just over to the left of the starting point. To reach it though, we'll need to hit a switch in this building and lower the bridge. To get there though, we're going to loop around the whole level. First, we'll climb the stairs and knock down this wooden bridge to reach this town plaza area. We can find a remote bomb upgrade here and discover a few secrets. For instance, we can actually destroy these buildings and stop them spawning enemies by tossing a bomb into the open window. Also, we can actually bounce our way into this one window and follow the path through to a hidden collectible on the other side. We can also head left between the buildings and blast down another bridge to reach this platform in the middle of the canal. We can then throw a bomb to hit yet another bridge on the far side. This will let us explore the opposite side of the canal, where we can find a couple more hidden collectibles. This is something I quite like about the levels in Bomberman 64. Generally, they're not huge even for their own time period, but they're quite dense. There's plenty of little secrets to be found around every corner. Anyway, once we're ready to advance, we can head back across the canal and follow these stairs up even higher. Up here, we'll find this big elaborate tower that is the source of the water that flows through the rest of the level. If we hit this switch, though, we can raise a gate and cut off water flow, which will cause the canal below to run dry. We can then follow the now dry canal all the way back down. Notice that we're now passing below the 2 bridges that we knocked down earlier. This actually serves as a tip-off to the hidden area we explored previously, for those that missed it. You can't always see the second bridge that clearly from up on the platform, but you can from down here in the canal. This structure also rewards the player for preemptively destroying the cannons up on the platform. We can't easily hit them from down here, so if we didn't destroy them before, we'll just have to avoid their fire as we pass through. If we did destroy them, though, going will be much easier. If we continue further down the canal, we can fall back down to the starting area. Now that the canal is dry, though, we can climb up these stairs and hit yet another switch on the opposite side to drain this last little pool. Then, finally, we can walk across it, up the stairs, and into the building to lower the exit bridge and complete the stage. Overall, this is a pretty neat way to structure a level. Instead of simply running through a series of independent and linearly laid out segments, the path up and the path down fit right into each other, and we get this fun little loop that ultimately leads us back to the start. We're never required to simply backtrack though, since the dry canal provides a new area to explore on our way back. There are a couple of other noteworthy design quirks here too. For one, you can actually skip hitting the last switch entirely if you pick up the power bombs in the canal. With them, you can just head across this bridge to the starting area and then blast open these big front doors and gain access that way. This doesn't drastically change anything, it's just a fun little alternative path. There's also another much more drastic alternative path here though. See this ledge you drop down after hitting the bridge switch? There's actually a way to get up there from below, thus allowing you to skip virtually the whole level. One such way is to perform a bomb jump. You knock yourself backwards by throwing a bomb at a wall, and then bounce forward off another bomb and up onto the ledge. This is more of an exploit though, and can be used to break a number of levels in the game. More relevant to the intended design of the level is the alternative. If you head up to the plaza area and get remote bombs, you can return here and then perform a relatively easy bomb bounce. You fall off the stairs to the right and bounce onto these crates. Then you perform another bomb bounce onto the ledge. This, I don't believe, is an unintended exploit at all. Unlike bomb jumps, Bomb bounces are required to reach many of the game's collectibles, and even to beat a couple later levels. Plus, the target time for this stage is only 60 seconds. That's outright impossible as far as I can tell when going the long way around. Bomberman simply isn't fast enough. If this is indeed intentional, then it's another nice touch. It rewards the player for thinking through their actual goal more carefully and trying to see if they can cut right to a later step instead of just following the obvious path. Moving on to Stage 2, there's less to be said about the mini-boss fight since it takes place in a single small arena. Notice though the continuity with the last stage. You start off on the bridge you used to exit the previous stage. The arena then rises up from the sea below, destroying that bridge. Stage 3 also picks up on this, putting a little remnant of the destroyed bridge right behind where you start the stage. It doesn't serve any functional purpose, it's just a nice little nod to the rest of the world. As for Stage 3, it's not quite as extreme as Stage 1, but it does follow a somewhat similar structure. You'll proceed through a few areas until you find this decorated water receptacle. The goal is up these nearby stairs, but for now, the stairs are sunken and blocked by a fence as well. What you have to do is head across this bridge and up the stairs to find another switch. Once again, this closes a gate and drains the area below. Then, down in the now dry canal, you can find this big wall. By bombing it several times, you can push it back into place. This completes the aqueduct above, allowing water to flow into the receptacle. This in turn weighs it down and causes it to sink, which lowers the fence and also raises the stairs to the exit. What I find so charming about this is that there's no actual physics puzzle at work here. On a strictly mechanical level, this whole stage could be reduced to go here, hit a switch to open the next area, now go there, and hit a switch to open the exit. Yet, the developers have taken the time to come up with this whole sequence of events that actually makes real-world sense. It gives the stage so much more character than some of the other ones that actually do just amount to hitting switches to proceed to the exit. I haven't even gotten to my favorite thing about Blue Resort, though. I deliberately skipped over this before, but when we hit the switch in Stage 3, we can also explore a little more around here. If we head up, we reach this triangular fenced area. Does it look at all familiar? It might, because we've actually seen it before. It was visible from Stage 1. These two enemies were even visible from that vantage point as well. Conversely, if we now look across the water from here, we can see the first switch we hit all the way back in Stage 1. Down below that, we can also see the drained canal we walked down and the little platform in the middle with the two bridges and cannons. Granted, it's a bit simplified, omitting the cannons and fences and other details, but I believe it's actually the same model used when looking down on that same area from Stage 1 itself. In fact, there are multiple places you can see Stage 1 from Stage 3 and vice versa. In both levels, you can walk around the far side of the central water tower. All that divides the two levels here is this one canal. You can also blast your way down to this little ring around the base of the tower to get even closer. Incidentally, this wooden box can be destroyed from either level, although it will only drop a collectible gold card if you're on Stage 1. This is probably a smart design choice, though, to avoid confusion. The hidden area from Stage 1 also offers a view of below. If you turn the camera, you can see this early area from Stage 3. Again, the game does use what appears to be a simplified model instead of the real Stage 3 model, presumably due to technical limitations. Although I believe once again this is the same model used when looking down on this spot from elsewhere in Stage 3. Furthermore, I believe there's no area, visible or otherwise, where the two levels don't fit together perfectly. The entire world is designed as one giant, structurally consistent three-dimensional space. I find that so cool, especially when the levels in question are so tightly aligned, and when both have fairly complex individual layouts already. It makes the world feel like a real place, instead of a series of artificial, independent constructs. Of course, it's worth noting that there's no way, short of completely breaking the game, to pass from one area to the other, besides exiting to the level select screen. But to me, that just makes it cooler, because the levels didn't need to connect in this way. You're not looping back to a hub or anything like that. It's just a really great added touch. Anyway, I haven't really touched on Stage 4 at all. That's because there isn't much to say, though. You fight the final boss in an underground waterway that presumably runs from the central tower down through the rest of the world. This doesn't necessarily contradict the layout of the rest of the world, but it doesn't particularly add anything to the world's architecture either. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to like and subscribe.